Hello, Adab, Namaste. Did you know that India contributes 25% to global dairy production? And now you must be wondering, why am I throwing random facts at you? Well, the fact is that today we are going to meet the founder of Gatih Foods, who goes by the name Mr. Pankaj Mishra, who's making a difference in the packaged dairy product industry, and his FMCG company is raring to grow bigger. Let's go meet him. Hello, Mr. Mishra.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good too. Where are we? This is a very beautiful farm.
Yeah, so we are right now we are in Bagpat, and it's 25 minutes drive from Shahadra. Our factory is just next to where you are standing, and this is the factory from where we started our business 2 years back, and it's still growing strong.
Amazing. So what do you do at Gatih Foods?
So currently we do a lot of products, especially cottage cheese. We do desi ghee and cow ghee. We also do certain sweets like rasgulla and gulab jamun in packed long-term shelf life products. So these are the products right now we are doing. We have other products also in pipeline, which is still at the NPD stage, and probably will be launching and disclosing it to market and to other media persons very soon.
Let's go back in time a little. Let's go back to where you come from.
So
What kind of a family do you come from? Is it an entrepreneurial
no. So I come from a very normal middle class family, and I think I am the black sheep of the family who started the business. Nobody in my family has ever done any kind of a business. They all we come from a service class family. My father was into administrative services, and he's retired now. My elder brother, he's a mechanical engineer working with Apple Smith.
So how was it when you announced to the family that I'm going to be an entrepreneur?
Oh, they thought I'm going to be unemployed.
Is that so?
Yeah, that is how they thought. They thought that I have gone crazy, leaving a very stable job, a high-paying job, and probably I'm not in my senses right now at that point of a time.
That's a very difficult thing to take on, you know.
Of course, because as I told you, we don't come from a business background.
Right.
So for any service class family, it is a very tough decision, and of course they don't have that kind of a risk appetite. So for them, it is very difficult to understand that why I'm thinking this way,
Right.
why I have this kind of mindset that okay, I have to do a business, I'm going to start something
Right.
of my own. So it is a very difficult thing for them to digest, and I don't think that we should put in more effort in that. Probably with time they will realize what I'm trying to do.
Possibly. So when we talk about your background, we also need to understand where all did you work?
So I
How
started.
did you gain this experience?
So I started my post my formal education. I started my career with consulting firms, larger and boutique consulting firms, where I worked for almost 7 years, and I have consulted across industries in consumer space, in automobile, in manufacturing. So I come from that advisory background, and then I moved to industry in FMCG company.
So there you were one of the youngest CEOs at the age of 29.
So when I joined my previous employer in 2016, I was roughly around 28, 29 years of age, and I joined as a CEO. And I started the brand there from zero, and we built a 200 crore brand in less than 5 years.
Amazing. And then when you decided that you're going to start your own company, what was the shift?
So
How do you see it differently from how you were working in your previous company to when you started the Gatih Foods?
So of course, when in my previous company, it was a 2-decade-old company, a B2B company, where my job was to build the brand from zero. So we
Right.
had a strong balance sheet, a profitable entity, positive cash flow, a lot of capital to invest and reinvest. So that kind of a comfort which was there. It was a big organization, 500 people working for the company. So you have different resources at your disposal
Right.
to do your things, whatever you have planned, whatever you have strategized. However, when you start on your own, So probably you are the peon of the company, you are the CEO of the company on the day one.
That is the thing about
Yeah.
entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so that is how it all starts, and gradually you build the company. You hire people, you bring in right talent with time, and it's a continuous process. You'll probably you'll keep on doing this for next decade or
Right.
more.
What's the most difficult thing about entrepreneurship?
Of course, the kind of risk, leaving a stable job. So, of course, the financial risk involved is big.
Right.
If things do not work in your way, you'll end up taking a big hit in terms of your career. That is one big risk.
Right.
And second, there is no sure shot, clear cut, defined handbook definition of success, or
Right.
or there is a clear cut formula written that this is what you're going to do things and you'll be successful.
Of course.
There is no such formula.
Right.
You can do hundreds of things right, but still you end up failing because a lot of macros which is not in your control. So entrepreneur is something, it's a calculated risk which anyone who is starting their own business, it is part of your journey. And I believe the biggest challenge is it's a very lonely journey because you keep doubting yourself every now and then.
Oh, I think that happens with a lot of entrepreneurs.
With everyone.
And
I don't
this
think
is a very goosebump kind of a movement.
everyone.
This is a
See,
very
anyone who is saying that they are not doubting themselves, either they are too overconfident or probably they are lying. So,
Right.
of course, I can understand because you can't go and tell your team members or people who are working for you that you are self-doubting yourself.
Yeah.
It will, bring the morale down. So you don't convey these messages, but deep down inside, yeah, this is the risk. I can fail. Probably if this product launch doesn't work, you'll end up losing money, end up losing name. So
Right.
these kind of a risk and self-doubts, they keep coming.
So you're very right about, having self-doubts and trying to overcome them. So when you have those moments, what do you do?
So I try to not overthink a situation. If you're bogged down with a problem where you don't have a clear-cut answer on that particular day, it's always better to take a step back,
True.
go spend some time with your family, friends, don't think about the business for a day, and come back again with a fresh mindset and start working on the problem.
That's, I think, very good advice for a lot of entrepreneurs, because we do all face such moments every now and then when we are like, okay, something is not happening. Then what do we do? And as he rightly said, we must take a break.
Yeah, that's the way, because you can't have you can't answer everything in one day.
Right.
So there are so many problems you're working on where you don't have an answer on that particular day. You'll find the answer in coming days.
True. So with that mindset, when you set up Gatih Food, what kind of investment did you put in there?
So we started with a seed capital of 1 crore when we founded this company.
And this was from your own savings?
Yeah, from our own saving. And gradually, as we grew, as our revenue grew, banks have been very kind enough to support us because we are a positive cash company. We don't burn money. So bank have supported us with additional 3.5 crore of working capital from banks.
Amazing. So yours is a very different business model when we compare it to the startup ecosystem that we have nowadays. People have an idea, they pitch it to the VC, and then they get the funding. On the other hand, you're doing something very different wherein you started an idea, you funded it completely, then you also raise some money from the banks.
So yeah,
with an intention to return.
So typically, if you look at the VC model of business, in a VC model, if you are doing something which nobody has done in past, some new business idea, if you're trying to disrupt a market where there is no clarity how quickly that business or that idea will start generating cash,
right,
and how the revenue model will be, of course, then you need a lot of VC capital. Because there is no clarity whether you'll turn around the company in 12 months, 18 months, or probably 5 years, but you have a good idea.
Right.
So that requires a lot of VC capital where you end up burning money to create a market for that particular company. But when we talk about any food business or any FMCG company, which is, so product was already there in the market. Probably you're doing some sort of innovation or some gap which is there in the market, you're trying to fill that. So in those conditions, I don't think it is very right to keep on burning VC money just for a plain vanilla idea. The idea is to execute it well. True. So execution is the key. And as an entrepreneur, I firmly believe idea has a very little play in building a business. I think we are 140 crore kind of a population in our country. Everyone has some idea. I should do this, I should do
Absolutely.
that. So idea is immaterial. It is all how good you are at execution. And that is the difference between a successful company and a failed enterprise. Just
Very
difference
true.
of execution.
Very true. So when you started Gatih Foods, what was your vision behind starting it? What kind of FMCG products did you want to get into? Since you already had an experience in FMCG.
Yeah, so the idea is to build a sustainable FMCG company as we grow.
So you got into FMCG after working for an FMCG company.
Yeah.
What kind of products did you begin with? And what was the whole idea behind Gatih Foods?
So the whole idea is to, of course, focus on the food business only in the FMCG
Right.
space. And in food also, we are tapping into categories where it is not dominant by just one player.
Okay.
So typically, if you look at many categories where, the one brand or one particular company is dominating that category with 60, 70%, 80% kind of a market share, where the brand equity of that particular brand is so strong that consumer is not willing to even do trials for a new brand.
Right.
So it is very difficult to build brand in such categories. So the idea of selecting products like ghee, which is a very large category.
Right.
Plus, if you look at the Indian market, still 70% of the market is unorganized. So still there is a lot of gap. Plus, no single brand is dominating the category. So there are leaders, but these are all leaders based on geography. Someone is doing very well in Maharashtra, someone is doing well in certain parts of UP, someone is doing well in Delhi. But nobody can claim that, okay, I am a pan-India market leader with a very clear-cut,
Right.
50% plus kind of a market share. So this gives us an opportunity as a new brand to build our brand in the category. So that's how we are picking categories, and that's how we keep picking even in future also. And our focus is to stay close to products which is directly or indirectly related to agri products or agri commodities. So something like honey, which
Right.
I have a lot of interest in honey. I have done it in past also because of that also, and also
Right.
it is related to farmers, beekeepers. So our interest is to always work in categories where directly, indirectly we are going to benefit the lower strata or the farmers linked to that trade.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are you doing at Gatih Foods currently?
So currently we are focused largely on dairy space as of now. So when we say dairy, we don't intend to become a dairy company, but we do product which is part of the dairy industry. So we do ghee, cow ghee, desi ghee. We do sweets, Indian sweets like rasagulla and gulab jamun. We do cottage cheese. So the whole idea of building the company in this sector slowly and launching few more products.
Right.
So we started with these products, like typically with the ghee are the main product.
Right.
And we started with B2B business first instead of directly going for a brand, because as I told you, we are a bootstrapped company.
Right.
So, and when you launch a brand, you need to have a lot of capital to support the launch.
True.
And there is a gestation period of 3 to 5 years for any brand. So you need to have money to support that burn initially.
Right.
We don't have that kind of a capital as of now. So we started with B2B, and where we generate positive cash, and we have a significant B2B business. So we started with B2B in first 2 years. Now we are focusing on brand and slowly building the brand as well.
So that is Gatih Foods factory,
Yes,
right?
that is our factory, which you
I
can see
would
in the
wonder
background.
how
Please.
the entire production happens.
Sure.
Because
sure.
I'm sure this is going to be very interesting for our viewers to see how, the food production happens, how the ghee that you have at home, the paneer that you get at home, how it is made. Mashallah, this is a good setup that you've got, and with the kind of investment that you had, how did you set up such a huge factory?
So as you know, we have a very frugal approach. So we haven't done any capex in setting up this factory. This factory was already there. This factory was established in 2019, and it was not functional because they had no revenue, no clients. So we took over this factory through a long-term lease, and that is how we have started our manufacturing operations.
Oh, that's a very interesting way to start a business. I think a lot of entrepreneurs here can take note that initially, if you play smart, You don't really need to invest in everything. You can of course lease
Yeah,
out.
of course. That is how I think every penny is important. So where you are investing
is.
and how much positive cash flow it is going to generate, it is very important in terms of your approach. Capex, you should do capex only where when you are very clear that
Right.
that capex is going to give you a very clear ROI in terms of your investment.
So please show me around
Please come.
how the entire process works.
Yeah, I'll show you the. So this is where we start the process. Any milk which is coming to our plant gets connected directly to the pipeline through external pipeline, and it directly goes to the inner silos. So this is the second stage. I already told you from where we get the milk, and this is our pasteurization plant. So milk is pasteurized over here. Then we have a fat separator from where we separate the fat from milk, and that separated fat goes to the cream pasteurization unit, and here the cream is pasteurized and it goes to our cold room. This is our butter churner. So once the cream is separated, it goes into butter churner, and here we create butter from the cream. Once the butter is created, it goes to butter melting vat, where we melt the butter in liquid form. From that liquid form, it goes directly to the kettle on the top. There you can see, and in the cooking kettle, we cook the butter for next 50 minutes to 55 minutes, and then it converts into ghee. And from there, ghee then transfers to the holding tank. From holding tanks directly to the filling line. This is the filling line, Sika filling line. It's a completely automatic setup. No human intervention is required in this. This is our cottage cheese section. This is our milk packing unit. If we have to do any polypack milk packaging, we do it here. Then we have, this is our lift for the movement of material from ground floor to first floor and second floor. This is our blast room. So whenever we are making a curd, so once the curd is set and then this is our incubation room. So we keep the milk with culture in incubation room for 3 hours. Once the curd is set, it transfers from incubation room to blast room. The blast room is ammonia based, and we keep our product here for at least for next 6 to 8 hours till the time the core temperature is 4 degrees Celsius. Because if the core temperature doesn't come down sharply at 4 degrees Celsius, your curd will become, slightly जो खट्टेपन की problem आती है. That problem you will face. Okay. So blast room operates at minus 20 degree. This is our curd section again, as I told you from the outside. This is incubation room where we help the culture to grow in the milk. We keep the product over here for at least 3 hours.
And you also produce milk, right?
And we also produce milk, but we are not selling branded milk as of now.
Okay. So loose milk.
Loose milk, B2B. If someone requires a milk, if we have excess milk, we sell it to other companies.
Oh, and I see sweets also here.
Yes, we do rasgulla also, as I was telling you.
Oh,
so
nice.
This is a high shelf life rasgulla. This has a shelf life of more than 6 months.
Okay.
And we are doing for many customers.
Interesting.
So this is the dispatch bay from where we dispatch the material, the final material, to our customers. And this is the two dispatch bays we have. So once the material is ready to ship, we request our logistics partner to place a vehicle depending on the demand, and accordingly everything is loaded to the vehicle and dispatched from here.
Right.
We have, for this is a ghee storage area. So once the product is finally packed, ghee is packed. Ghee is packed. It is kept over here. You can see this is different customers, different brands what we manufacture. And this is our own brand.
And this is your own brand.
Yes, this is a 15 kg
so
pack.
you sell it in 15 kgs?
So we sell it in 15 kg, 1 liter, half liter, 200 ml.
Okay.
So 15 kg pack is typically a Horeca pack used by hotels, restaurants and caterers. So we sell it to big companies like BTW, Bikaner Wala, we supply to them in ghee. And these are all consumer packs.
Great.
This is our own brand. This is our own brand Mugd. We are talking about again, that is also a Mugd Horeca bag. And these other products are for different customer, B2B customers. From
So this is majorly cow ghee?
Desi ghee and cow ghee, but this is desi ghee.
Okay.
We do both the variants. And here we maintain the temperature at 20 degree. This is not a cold room, ambient room.
Okay.
Because we don't keep the ghee in a cold room.
Right.
Because if we'll keep it in cold room, the texture will become like Fevicol, not danedar.
Oh. Oh.
To keep a danedar structure, you need to maintain a 25 degree, 22, 25 degree kind of a temperature, natural temperature.
So there's a lot of science going behind food
So that is why
manufacturing.
you see there is a AC here which runs 24/7, and typically we maintain 20-22 degree room temperature.
So after this extensive tour, it was very amazing to see how cautious you are when it comes to food grade things.
Yep.
And I would want to understand that, what are the future plans for the company?
So the future plans, we are planning few more products to launch, and there are 2-3 big national players with whom we have already signed contract, and very soon you will see their product also being manufactured at our facility. We can't disclose the names right now because of course the client's confidentiality until the product is launched we have to maintain. Once the product is launched, of course you'll get to know, but we have already signed 2 big clients in ghee, and there are few more products apart from dairy food products which very soon we are going to launch.
Right. So in B2B, who are the companies that you're serving?
So we are working with many companies. We are working with Vishal Mega Mart, we are working with Instamart, we are Swiggy Instamart, we are working with City Mall, we are working with Veda Shudh, and there are a few more, as I told you, with whom we are going to work.
Okay. And when we look at the company from the perspective of finances, how are you faring?
So we are generating positive cash month on month, so we are doing fairly okay, and I believe by end of Q3 this year, we'll be in a fairly comfortable position financially once the revenue from new clients start flowing in and other avenues also. So probably we'll be in a very, very comfortable position post Q3.
What's your turnover like?
So last year we did 20 crores, and this year we intend to hit 35 to 40 crores. So 100% growth rate we are maintaining.
So what would be your message to the entrepreneurs who are watching this episode, who would want to be inspired by you and your story?
I feel believe in yourself, keep working hard. So I don't think there is any shortcut, and instead of getting too much fascinated with an idea, I don't think that's a very good thing. Having an idea about product category or any new thing which you want to do as an entrepreneur is a good thing, but one should not be obsessed with the idea. They should focus more on execution and how to deliver.
True.
How to convert that idea on the ground. So execution is the key. I believe that everyone should focus on the execution.
Of course. So thank you so much for your time. It was lovely talking to you, and we wish you all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
So this was Pankaj Mishra for you, who started Gatih Foods as a B2B brand, but he knows the game, that the game is to get into B2C segment, and with Mugdha, he's doing exactly that. Stay tuned and watch out for his products at your nearest retail outlets. And if you have any questions related to his industry, don't forget to ask them in the comment section, and we'll get them answered by him. Bye bye for now. We'll be back with another interesting episode.